Hello students, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rashmi Sharma, Head of the Department OBNHR, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi. Today we will learn the module Building Gender Diversity. This module is from the paper Contemporary Issues in HRM and Future Trends. The learning outcomes are Introduction to Diversity, Advantages of Gender Diversity, the gender situation in India, gender pay gap, and how to improve gender situation. After completion of this module, the students will be able to understand the uniqueness of each individual in the organization, treat women and transgender employees with equality and equity, and eliminate bias towards women at the workplace. Gender diversity is equitable or fair representation between genders. Gender diversity most commonly refers to an equitable ratio of men, women, and transgenders. More companies are realizing the value of having a diverse workforce at workplace. As per the McKinsey's research, which includes a new report, Women Matter 2016, Reinventing the Workplace to Unlock the Potential of Gender Diversity, shows that many companies are struggling to ensure that women are represented fairly in the top management. The progress towards the parity remains slow in most of the nations of the world. Let's understand what basically are the advantages of gender diversity. It helps to widen the talent pool. We all have different talents, different attributes, and different skills to the table. Without this diversity business, we would never ever develop, adapt, innovate, and progress. By eliminating, decreasing, or not engaging the female representation within the workplace, the organizations are losing out on half of the talent pool that is available to them and the unique attributes that female workers can bring from entry level through to the boardroom. It decreases turnover also. The employee turnover and retention is one of the key challenges that the businesses are facing on a daily basis, and also it's one of the most costly affairs. Inclusive cultures are reported to have almost 22% lower turnover rates due to the increased morale, opportunity, and equality. This is as per the Gallup's report. Thus, a change in the mindset can deliver a long-term staffing benefits. Increasing engagement and performance. Having an inclusive workforce would breed higher satisfaction level, which in turn would increase the employees' engagement, thus would result in increasing the performance. It seems very simple, but it really is. Equality is just important internally, and it is externally also important that should never be overlooked. Acting as a true representation of your diverse customer base. It's a simple thought that engaging and retaining a diverse audience requires a diverse approach and workforce. Women currently influence over 85% of retail decisions, so as aligning direct representation with your workforce is almost imperative in order to retain and capitalize on this. Next is improving the reputation. Business reputation is much more impactful today than it was before. How your business is represented to your audience, your employees, your investors, and your future talent pool is undoubtedly a key definer of organizational overall success. A recent study that was done by PwC cited that almost 83% of women seek careers with businesses who demonstrate strong rewards of diversity and equality. Let us now understand why gender diversity is important. It helps in gaining competitive advantage. The pace of change in today's global economy is rapidly increasing. Having diversity of thoughts at all levels and especially in senior leadership positions can help the organizations to effectively deal with the swiftly changing economic realities that this entails. This also brings in diversity of thought. Men and women tend to think differently. They have different viewpoints, ideas, and they approach problems differently. Better stakeholder representation. Having a gender diverse workforce and board ensures that the company truly represents all its stakeholders, shareholders, employees, and customers. Let us understand the gender situation in India. While the benefits of having women in the workforce are many, a sad truth of our times is that even today, women form less than 1/3 of the total workforce in India. This despite women candidates often proving to be more employable. Let us understand the aim of gender equality. Workplaces should provide equal pay for equal work of equal or comparable value. Removal of barriers to the full and equal participation of women in the workforce. Access to all the occupations and industries, including leadership roles, regardless of the gender, and finally, elimination of discrimination on the basis of gender. Workplace gender equality is associated with improved national productivity and economic growth, increased organizational performance, enhanced ability of the companies to attract talent and retain the employees, and enhanced organizational reputation. The gender pay gap is influenced by a number of interrelated work, family, and societal factors, which includes stereotypes about the work men and women should do and the way women and men should engage in the workforce. Women and men working in different types of jobs. Lack of women in senior positions and a lack of part-time or flexible senior roles. Women's more precarious attachment to the workforce. Differences in education, work experience and seniority. Discrimination which can be both direct or indirect. Let us understand the situation in India. Men in IT services are earning rupees 360.90 paisa per hour, while women earn only rupees 239.60 paisa per hour. Amidst a raging debate over gender pay gap globally, a new report shows the figure for India stands as high as 27%, where men earned a median gross hourly salary of rupees 288.68 rupees, while women earned only rupees 207.85 per hour. Let's understand what are the basic reasons behind these pay differentials. There are preferences for male employees. According to the report, some of the reasons behind gender pay gap could be the preference for male employees over female employees, preference for promotion of male employees to supervisory positions, and career breaks of women due to parenthood duties and other socio-cultural factors. The workplace diversity in the Indian setting is nothing but a baby step in progress. The definition of what diversity comprises for a place often varies from one context to another context. Organizations in different nations have different diversity challenges to meet. There is a low female representation in workplaces. In a way, when it comes to India, we are still taking baby steps towards this concept. Forget the minorities of physically different people, we still have very less representation of women in the workforce, particularly at the senior level of organizations. Organizations, unfortunately, are not ready to deal with the working mothers. This does not just reflect on our social conditioning, but also on the lack of flexibility or considerations in organizations to allow the working mothers a much more amenable environment. Organizations in our economy, in a way, are not yet conditioned or conducive enough to embrace the working mothers and lack the system required to retain the experienced and talented women employees. There is a bias during the hiring. When it comes to the industry, the ratio is still an abysmal 15 to 20% on representation of women. Other diversity challenges in India may include a resistance towards hiring from a socially backward section or freshers not too adept at English language communication. Let us understand what are the challenges when it comes to complete diversity acceptance and how to deal with them. While it has immense benefits, ushering in an absolutely diversity friendly workplace presents several challenges. First is resistance to change. Resistance to change is a common challenge that we all face. As with any new idea, ushering in diversity friendly policies also faces resistances from the current participant. A workplace is an amalgamation of different people working together, and not all may be interested or keen in becoming a part of this endeavor. The cultural challenge. Ensuring a truly diversity friendly workplace is not just a policy issue but is also a cultural challenge. You cannot just display a memo on a public notice board and the organization to be expected to become suddenly diversity friendly from the very next day. The culture of the organization also has to change and molded along with the policy changes in order to make it much more acceptable to the diverse group of people. There is a need for top-down approach. The culture of an organization is reflected in the approach of all the employees, and this is much more effectively that flows from the top to the bottom. New employees learn from the examples that are set by their seniors. Having people in leadership positions who have a vision can lead by example can make all the difference that is required. Communication issues are also one of the paramount challenges. Diversity presents communication barriers at times, including language, cultural and behavioral patterns. What is construed as a joke amongst North Indians may be something offensive for somebody from the South or vice versa. Diversity programs therefore also needs to overcome such barriers. Ensuring diversity has to be an inclusive process. As we have already discussed, new ideas always spawn some kind of resistance, and the solution to quit or quell this resistance is to include the people themselves in the process of ushering in any change. For a new policy to be sustainable, every employee has to be responsible for it. Transgender issues are paramount issues. One of the transgender identities is that of a transsexual person, a person whose gender identity is different from his or her assigned gender. Transgender people may also be straight, lesbian, gay, bisexual or asexual, and the term transgender is used to encompass a broad category of individuals. Now let us understand how we can improve the gender situation. We must fix possible intake bias. How can we achieve that? By using a mixed gender panel that can help in removing any possible intake bias. It is often believed that men have a tendency to hire men. Flexible work opportunities is another option. It allows the mothers to work from home or to make use of the flexible hours to make it easier for them to balance their work and family life. Gender sensitization in the workplace design is also important. Most of the office complexes, unfortunately, are designed by men and for men. Having a creche facility in or near the office is another good option. Finding a suitable daycare facility would prevent the mothers from resuming work. Women-centric CSR initiatives like funding initiatives to promote the education and care of the girl child, initiating campaigns to promote the inclusion of women in the workplace. These are but two of many possible ways by which we can utilize the CSR spend for the gender positive initiatives. Thus, in this module, we have learned that organizations all over the world are still struggling to ensure gender parity in their workforce in terms of pay as well as seniority. A gender sensitization is a must in every organization. Women should be provided with benefits and services that would supplement their responsibilities at home. Thank you.